because we are officially at start time.
All right. As all of you saw, this is being recorded. The breakout rooms, so when we put you all in the breakout rooms later, those will not be recorded. So feel free to speak as you would freely without fear of recording in the breakout rooms. Let's see. You know, I thought I had this set for dual monitors and I didn't, so that's all right. I will work it out. All right, well, welcome everybody. This is the Statewide Alliance meeting. If you don't know what that means, we'll clarify that a little bit more as we go, but essentially it's touching all corners of the state. Everybody in the state is invited to talk and learn about what Braver Angels has been doing in Oregon. And for those of you who want to get more involved, we will certainly tell you how to do that as well. As you see on the screen, the Braver Angels pledge, as always, is in effect here. As individuals, we try to understand the other side's point of view, even if we don't agree with it. In our communities, we engage with those we disagree with, looking for common ground and ways to work together. And in politics, we support principles that bring us together rather than divide us. If you are in disagreement, you're in the wrong place. Just kidding. You're welcome as well. This is a bit about what we're going to cover today. So we're going to do the intro and agenda, which we're doing right now. In just a moment, Elise is going to pop some questions into the chat, and we'll invite you all to let us know where you are from in the chat. Given that we have so many people, we don't have time to go around the room. So please utilize the chat for that. Then we'll spend some time looking back at 2023 and some of the highlights of the year for Braver Angels Oregon. We'll talk about what we're looking forward to in 2024, how you can get involved, and then we'll send you into breakout rooms to discuss a small group topic for about 15 minutes before we come all back together and popcorn shot style share what we're taking away from this meeting tonight.
So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. In the chat, you can see our questions today, which are like, hey, where are you? Where is home in your heart of hearts? And what is your favorite Braver Angels memory? If you are brand new, let the Braver Angels memories from 2023 wash over you. And for the rest of you, what is it we've done in the last year that stuck out for you? And welcome everybody who's joined recently. And I know there's a whole passel full of folks in a single room in Eugene. So hello, everybody in Eugene. Tell each other all where your heart of home of homes is in your heart. Wow, look at all over the state.
Look at that. Yeah, we've got Portland area obviously well represented. We've got folks from how far away? Who's the furthest away from Portland here tonight? Milwaukee is not. Eugene, Springfield. Anybody from the eastern side of the state?
Where are east?
Columbia River Gorge.
Portland, Beaverton, the fair. Yeah, the fair was an experience, right?
We'll talk about the fair tonight. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, hi, Mike. Welcome for your first time. Everybody who is here for the first time, thumbs up. So glad you made it. Jazz hands for everybody. Kennedy School. Yeah, that was quite a moment, huh?
That was fun.
Well, why don't we talk about some of what we did in fact achieve over this last year? And you know, if you've got questions or you've got like, hey, somebody needs to mention this because Jeff and Elise are forgetting something, tell us. It's your meeting too, so go ahead and feel free to jump in.
And by the way, you know what? We jumped right in. For those of you who don't know us, a quick introduction. I am Jeff Spitzer. I am the red half of the state coordinator team. And Elise, as you can see in our names on the screen is obviously the blue half of the state coordinator team. And we've been in these roles for quite some time and have really enjoyed our time in these roles and are really proud of what we accomplished in 2023 and looking forward to 2024. So on the screen, these are some of the things that we wanted to do. As you see, they were not hard metrics, but they were sort of loose guidelines and objectives that we were following. And we feel like we did pretty good on most of them. Ensure Braver Angels workshops and skill building opportunities are available to anyone who welcomes them. This year, we made a pretty hard pivot from online workshops to in-person workshops. And obviously, we can't bring an in-person workshop to everybody at the same time, but we did get out and we've had events, of course, in the Portland area where we're located. We did the fair in Salem. We've had events in Eugene, in Grants Pass, in where am I forgetting? We went to Bend. We had an event, and the reason that we pivoted to in-person this year, well, number one, online attendance was really dropping. Yeah, we could, and online attendance was dropping dramatically in our events. And the second reason was there are online events being hosted by National, and we didn't feel like we needed to duplicate efforts. So everybody can always tap into a workshop offered by National or any other alliance around the country. So we really wanted to get back and do in-person events here in Oregon.
For those of you who are brand new, the kinds of events that we host are workshops that are about getting people together to learn skills for talking to folks on the other side of issues, and then to actually talk through some of those issues. So if you haven't had a chance to attend a workshop yet, we highly recommend it.
Absolutely. So, quick summary. In 2023, we hosted over 25 in-person and online workshops and other types of events. When I say other events, I mean things like we did at Kennedy School and Bend. For those of you who were there, that event was also duplicated in Eugene a couple of times, and it was a lot of fun. More than 10 presentations to various groups and organizations who invited us in to talk about what Braver Angels is and the work we do. And a rough count of, I stopped counting at 500. So over 500 people attended any one of these types of events that we hosted in 2023. Another huge highlights, we established 2 new local alliances in Oregon this year. One is the Columbia River Gorge Alliance, which is a 2-state solution here. We got Oregon and Washington represented in the Columbia Gorge Alliance. And then we have the Northwest Willamette Valley Alliance, which encompasses Yamhill and Washington counties. And in just a moment, we'll ask the leaders of each of those alliances to bring us up to speed. If you want to, I didn't notice, I think I saw Elizabeth here.
Tom's here. Tom's here,
okay.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got at least half of that alliance here. So if you, in just a moment, actually, we can do it right now.
Yeah.
Tom, if you are here and feeling confident, would you like to jump on and just tell everybody about what's been happening in the gorge?
You're muted, Tom.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Tom. You're on mute.
Oh,
there you go.
I tried that.
We got it. We got it.
Did you get me off mute?
We
now
sure
you're
did.
off mute. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason I'm not getting the screen there. But anyways, so we have been doing our Zoom meetings. Here we go. We've been doing, we did our first Zoom meeting in the Alliance. We do a monthly meeting, and we meet in, we met in Stevenson in Washington side, and then we went over to next month into Hood River and met there. And then we went into White Salmon, and then we went to the Dalles, and then we had our first Zoom 2 nights ago. And everybody's enjoying the meetings. We are experiencing what is a bit of a national problem with that most everybody is blue. And so we're out recruiting Reds as much as we can. So if any Reds here want to come in and join in and give their bit, we'd be very happy to have you. So anyways, that's what we're doing. Another Zoom next January 2nd.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tom. And I know Elizabeth is here from, there she is, Northwest Willamette Valley Alliance. Elizabeth.
Yes, Northwest Willamette Valley Alliance, that was created specifically to cover Washington and Yamhill counties. And we've been meeting since May. And we have a declining in-person meet. And so next year we're looking at experiencing more workshops, service projects, things that we can actually do to become involved. We've been very conversational up until now and have enjoyed some wonderful conversations, attacking some difficult subjects and getting some good discussion going around it. So we look forward to moving forward and having more things to actually do to put our views into practice.
Fantastic. Thank you, Elizabeth. Also,
The other update on that
go ahead.
list was the Strong Proto Alliance. Proto Alliance, because they haven't officially formed in Eugene. And I think you can all see the frame that's got like a whole bunch of Eugene happening. So yay, they're doing a whole bunch of events. Luke, do you want to say something real quick on behalf of all of Eugene?
Sure. It's been a lot of fun meeting people, and it's really exciting to have so many people here today. So thanks everybody for coming. Does everybody want to say?
Oh, we can't hear it, Luke.
And we've done 3 in-person workshops. Linda Shears here, who moderated our first one, I think. Yeah. And one online one also.
Cool, thanks, Luke.
Yes, you guys have been very active. It's been exciting to see the growth in Eugene. So thank you, Luke. Thank you, Eugene. Grants Pass, there's also, I didn't see Steve on the call, but there's a strong, what we call a Proto Alliance in Grants Pass as well, meeting regularly and hosting events in Grants Pass. And to round this out, one thing that we were pretty happy to realize is that we reversed a declining trend and increased our subscribers this year by 3% and our membership by 9% in Oregon. And then those numbers aren't big, obviously, but it's the reversal of the trend that we were seeing in 2022 that was exciting. And Oregon State Fair was a lot of fun. So for those of you who don't know, we had a booth at the State Fair, Braver Angels Oregon booth, and we were there for all 11 days of the fair. We had 33 volunteers step up to help staff that booth throughout the 11 days. That was over 274 hours that we had to cover in that booth. And we had 2 people in that booth at all times. So double that in terms of total people hours. And we had literally hundreds of conversations. We had a flip chart there where people were writing notes about the issues that were important to them, which gave us lots of fuel for ideas for future events here in Oregon. And it was a lot of fun. And I think that one of the other highlights is that the volunteers just really enjoyed connecting with each other. So a lot of them had never met before or had only met through the screen like this. And to be able to spend time, usually 4 or more hours in a booth with somebody, because we had red and blue pairs in the booth. And so getting to spend that time with somebody on the opposite side of the aisle really created a lot of bonding moments.
Does anybody have a story or a lesson from that fair experience that they would like to share here? Because I think it was really remarkable to stand in the sea of Oregonians and hear them react to the idea that we can talk to each other as people from opposite political persuasions. Yeah, Elizabeth.
There we go. My story was that one evening we met Santa Claus, and he was not in a red suit, but he is a professional Santa Claus, and he came and had quite an amazing tale that he told us. And you want the epitome of bringing people together, that would be Santa Claus. And it was great. It was a fun interaction.
Always
All
fun
right,
when Santa
fun.
shows up.
Truth.
Yeah, so mine is interacting with the person in the booth that I was all fired up about a particular idea. And I shared it and they were saying, no, that's the exact wrong idea. So I was deflated, but we continued talking and we found something we had in common. And before we were leaving the booth, we were giving each other hugs. So we found
Love
a
that.
connection.
Nice.
Love that. Can't really
Luke's
see the
room.
yellow hand. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Well, can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
I was there in the booth with Jim, so we got to, and since we're different political persuasions, we got to chat a lot, which was a great opportunity for us personally. But what I noticed was a lot of people coming to our booth were very supportive, but they felt like it couldn't be done. Like we couldn't talk to the other side. And I think though, by being there, it just was all the more important, I think, to say like, there are people who want to do this. So that's my story.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have to
Thank
find it was a remarkable because Jeff and I did a couple of chefs together. How many people would spend an hour telling us that the other side wouldn't listen? Not,
Exactly.
not realizing that, hello, we're listening for an hour. Didn't you come to the fair for some other reason?
Yeah.
Come on.
A common retort I got was, well, good luck with that. Like, or that'll never work, as has already been mentioned. And I had fun telling them, oh, it works. And we've been doing it for quite a while.
Which these pictures are from another event we hosted. This is the Braver Angels Oregon experience. It's a welcome event. Some of you, I think, probably had your first experience with us coming to one of these, either the Kennedy School in Portland or some pub place that I can't remember the name of that was cool in Bend.
Yes.
To get to talk to people on the other side. And it does work.
These were fun. I'd like to do another one of these.
Yeah. So anybody else have anything they want to report on from past events before we move on to what's coming up and then talk to each other a bit?
Yeah.
Past
John?
events or, yeah, Luke.
Yeah, my name is John and I was at the fair.
Oh, John.
And I hesitate to say something because this is very positive, whatever it's saying. And I don't think what I have to say is really negative, but it was my experience is that, yes, people were saying this can't work and no one listens to me. And I struggle with, I did a lot of listening. And I didn't know how to do it. I'm learning how to listen. And it did often feel like people were venting and I let it happen. Because I didn't know what else to do. And people needed that maybe. So it was a good experience overall, but I just didn't know what to do when that happens.
Yeah. Sounds like you approached it the right way. The last thing you would want to do is get into an argument with somebody in a Braver Angels booth. But I spent a lot of time in that booth myself, John, and I did a lot of listening. And you know what else I did? I did a lot of pivoting. So those of you who have taken skills for bridging the divide, one of the skills that is taught in that is how when you know the conversation is not going to be productive, pivot out of it. And I found lots of creative ways to pivot out of some conversations at the fair. Elizabeth.
Yeah, I love that whiteboard that you had up because that drew people in to come talk about their issue. And yes, there was a lot of no, it can't be done until we were talking with them and inviting them to come do it at a workshop. And I saw a lot of people changing their mind. I had to raise my hand again just so that I could publicly thank Sue Staley. She's my co-chair, and she organized all the volunteers for the fair. That was a monumental task. And she really did an amazing job. I know she couldn't be on tonight because I believe she's up on the mountain and can't get reception up there. But yeah. Anyway, she is an amazing person, and I think we owe her a debt of gratitude.
And
Thank goodness we're recording. Every virtual hands for Sue. We'll send her the recording. Yay.
And for those of you who don't realize, Elizabeth is a red talking about Sue, the blue, in their alliance partnership. Fantastic. Love that.
So before
All
we
right.
move on, does anybody have any questions about anything that happened? Truth.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to comment that when I think it was the Kennedy Center, when we had the room full of people and there was kind of choices of two different perspectives on the opposite ends of the room, that was a really wonderful exercise. And I have shared that with so many people of how people move around. And it was just, anyway, I appreciate being able to then kind of expand that outside to talk about it, Braver Angels.
Thank you, Truth. And for those of you who don't know what she means, we had signs that were polar opposites of an issue. And Elise stood on one end of the room and held up a sign, and I stood on the other end. And some of the examples were like, no guns, and the other side of the room was all guns. And one was, I think we had schools know best, another one was parents know best. And we asked people to line themselves up in the room physically, somewhere along that continuum of where they put themselves between the two polar opposites of that issue. And one thing that I really love about that is not only is it visual and not only is it interactive, but you see the diverse spectrum of opinions even on each side. So reds weren't all clumped on one side of the room for every issue, and blues weren't for the other. So you would see reds throughout that continuum between the two opposite sides of the issue as you would blues. And so even within our own sides, there are a lot of different opinions.
Okay, so that's what we did. Now what are we doing? What's coming up?
Well, on your screen, and I'm dropping the link in the chat to our state webpage where you can get more information about how to attend these meetings. Next to these, there is a link where you can contact the event host. So for the first one, if you are on the west side of Portland, Yamhill or Washington, Yamhill or Washington counties, the Northwest Willamette Alliance meeting meets on the third Thursday of each month. If you go to that link that I just dropped in the chat, you can contact them to find out the location, because they do move it around throughout the geo. Same thing for the Columbia Gorge Alliance meetings. They move theirs around, though Tom just mentioned that they're doing them online during the winter, at least for now, due to weather concerns. First Tuesday of each month for them. Politics in Eugene, second Tuesday of each month at the Oakshire Public House for those of you in Eugene. And then we are trying something new in Portland called Pie and Depolarization. We have a fantastic local business called the Bipartisan Cafe, perfectly right up the Braver Angels alley. And they invited us in to do things in their cafe. So this first one that we're going to do, so we're planning to do this the second Wednesday of each month. And this is on Southeast Portland. And you're free to join us there between 4 and 6 o'clock. Meet us. We'll have some conversations guides. You can hopefully have a good conversation with somebody on an issue. And of course, support our host with your patronage. Buy some pie, buy some coffee, some tea, whatever you are up for, and join us the second Wednesday. If you can't meet us next week, we'll be there again in January and so forth. And just show up for now. But if we get 50 people show up, then we might have to limit registration for future ones. But for the first one, let's see what kind of turnout we get. Finally, big bullet point on the screen on the bottom there. If we are not currently active in your community and you would like to bring an event to your community, contact us. Again, through that link that I dropped in the chat, there is a contact form. You can contact us and talk about how you can help bring a Braver Angels event to your community. And Truth asked what the time the Bipartisan Cafe, 4 to 6 p.m. There you go. All right.
It's just a stock slide. Hey, if you are interested in volunteering, so many opportunities, including a fabulous opportunity to step up and make this meeting as exciting as you would like to be by being the next Blue State Coordinator. So Jeff and I are both nearing the end of our term in this particular driver's seat. And I
Yep.
think you might be the right person for the next term around. I would
My
love to hear from
successor
you.
has already been tapped, and we're not going to reveal that person just yet. Don't want to scare them off. But we are still actively looking for Elise's successor. So if you have a heart for this work and you would love to step up and help make this sort of thing go in Oregon, get in contact with us through the link that I put in the chat, or if you already know our contact info, obviously just email us.
And if you're lean blue, this is such a great time to do it because Jeff and I are still here to help bridge over, and your new red co-chair is stellar. It will be so much fun for you. You really want to do this. So, okay. The other thing you probably really want to do is talk to each other. So our topic that we have suggested is, hey, what should 2024 look like for this organization? You're here today. Why? What would you like to see happen in the next year? You know, more of what we did, something brand new. Take a second to think about it. And then we're going to open up the room. You talk to 4 other groups or 4 other people. And we'll give you about 15 minutes to discuss that.
And as you're thinking about that, also for extra credit, think about it in terms of how you can help bring it to life. So the example that I just mentioned, if we're not already active in your community, how can you help bring an event to your community? So that might start with just contacting us to ask. But how can you help bring it as well? What do you want to see happen and how can you help?
And before we open these, any other questions?
All right, Elise is going to whisk you away in just a moment. As I mentioned at the top, the breakout rooms will not be recorded. So if you meet somebody in your breakout room that you want to stay in contact with, please exchange contact information with them while you're together in the breakout room.
All right, off you go.
Have fun.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes, welcome. Hope everybody had a good conversation. Looks like everybody returned to the room, so that is good news as well. And we were just noting that nobody left the breakout room early, so that's also a good sign. Would love to hear some of the things that you all discussed. Raise your hand if you'd like to share, and we'd love to hear anything that you feel is share worthy. Michael.
Well, you put us in a group together where we're all ready to start an alliance in Clackamas County. So we exchanged phone numbers and emails, and I think we're really ready to go. We all seem
That's
to be
awesome.
like on the edge, hoping that something good would happen. And we're all in the same chat room. We all live in Clackamas County. So it's like
That was a complete and apparently very divine coincidence. So
that's what we had to figure.
It's a Christmas miracle right there. Nice.
Truly, it's because I was thinking, well, how do I ask the next question? And everybody was there. So thank you very much.
Excellent. So get in touch with us. You can do it through the website, or actually I'll drop our shared email into the chat right now, and email Elise and I from this email, and let's talk about it. So great. All right, who can top that? Who can top starting a new alliance? Just kidding, you don't have to top it, but we'd love to hear more shares. Anybody? Oh, Deborah.
Yeah, hi. Well, I thought our group was great, and I feel a huge sense of relief to have found this group and, be here with other people who care so much about, all the hatred that's out there, and that we just have to we just have to start, more dialogues and more healing and come together. So we're a few of us are all going to the Portland thing next Wednesday, so I'm excited about that. And even just sitting here and like not knowing which of y'all are which is kind of cool.
Fantastic.
you.
You know, there was a time not so long ago, Deborah, where I didn't know and I didn't care where somebody stood politically. And I still don't care. I just know. Tom.
One thing we discussed was about the video that was done by KGW with the Greater Idaho Movement, and how it was interesting to see that. And the only reason am bringing it up is because I did post the link to everybody, because there was questions about that. So if you haven't seen it, it's interesting, and so that's what I've got to say.
I don't, did you post it in the chat or in your breakout room? I don't see it in our main chat here.
Well, I thought I saw it just pass through the in the main chat, and I'll post it again. I thought I saw it scroll up when we came back, so maybe it was just in the room, but I'll do it again.
Yeah, make sure
so
it says to
anybody-
everyone. It might have just went to a single person.
It did say everybody, and that's why I thought it did. But here, we'll do it again.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Success.
Oh, there it is. Now I see it. Just popped up. Thank you. All right. Who else would like to share? Maybe a resolution somebody made for this work, maybe an idea on what you would like to see happen. We'd love to hear that. You're all so shy tonight.
There's several
Elizabeth.
suggestions in the chat.
Yep, there are a lot of
There's
things
some
in the chat.
Oh, there's
Mhm.
some things in the chat. You know what? I was just scrolling for a link and I was bypassing everything. It didn't look like a link. My apologies.
Well, while Jeff reads the chat, Elizabeth.
Yes, so we talked a lot that we would like to see Braver Politics really make a big move in a presidential election year. And we would like to help by acting locally within our communities and within the state of Oregon to further the national politics as well.
Absolutely. For those who probably don't know what Braver Politics is, Elizabeth, would you like to give them a quick 30-second overview of it?
Braver Politics is headed up by Elizabeth up in Washington, and they facilitate town hall meetings and other conversations between politicians, debates and stuff, putting into effect the Braver Angels way of disagreeing better. So Governor Cox in Utah is a big proponent of this and really doing a lot to move that forward, helping governors to have discussions that can disagree but not be disagreeable. And it's a really good way to, especially in legislatures where Republicans and Democrats have a voice, like in the urban-rural divide. You don't have a voice anyplace else except for there. And so to amplify the voices and make sure that they are being heard and not being talked over is what Braver Politics does. And we'd like to throw some support behind that to help them work that magic nationally as well as within Oregon.
They definitely use it in Oregon and nationally. So thank you. Just getting caught up on the chat. I see lots of things that people would like to talk about: open primaries, ranked choice voting, urban rural, money, common ground workshops, inclusiveness. Yes, yes, yes. Let's make it all happen in 24.
Eugene.
Eugene. Yeah.
So our group here was talking about a few ideas. I know some of our members are interested in helping the Salem situation, helping our state legislators talk and work things out. But we also talked about changing some of the naming of our group to make it more attractive to certain people. So like, what gets your goat instead of talking politics? Like maybe that would have more of a draw for people. So excited to talk more about that. I know there was dinner and a fight was one of the other groups was doing that they seem to work out. And then we talked. Yeah, and we tried talking about having a little learning sessions like and discussion group. So when people come to these like dinner and a fight, there's a little teaching section maybe, and then a more discussion, and trying to get those discussions to last longer so that people can stay in touch and go deeper in the future. Those are some of the ideas here. And a lot of times we just talked amongst our group about like what's happening, and yeah, didn't get to fully explore the potential for 2024, but thank you.
Well, we know you meet regularly to talk about that, so fantastic. Thanks for sharing.
Tom, you got your hand up. So last one, and then we'll go ahead and do a round of takeaways and then take it away for the year.
So we also discussed braver politics, and one of the things that we had discussed in a Washington State meeting is two parts to braver politics. One is before the election, where you want the candidates when they debate to use braver politics, not attacking each person, but talk about the issues. That's what we want to see in our debates, and to get the candidates to pledge to that. And then the second part is after the election, that somebody has won, that their staffs have it be part of the legislature, that all new staff take braver politics principles into their job going forward. So two parts to braver politics that we had discussed before. That's it.
Awesome. Would love to see that happen. Absolutely.
Thank
All
you,
right.
everybody. Lots of fabulous ideas for the year ahead. And now, before you head off for your final holidays and for the evening, in the chat, if you'd let us know, what are you taking away from tonight before you head off for your dinners and your cozy evenings? Oh, Barry, hope, so great.
Yes, hopeful and excited. Love it. Motivation to participate. All right, let's build on that, Eileen.
Yay.
Linda, excited about all the new people joining us. Yes.
And fight night sounds like fun. I love debate. I like the debate watching idea too. There's another alliance
yeah.
that does that. Mhm.
Debate viewing.
And so many people with issues they can champion. Yay. Very nice. All right. Yeah, you're never alone. It feels like that sometimes, but there really are.
Yes, Kent, I'm excited for that Clackamas County Alliance as well. I live in Clackamas County myself. Yes. I love seeing people here too, Richard. Let's find more people. Let's bring them in. Let's do more together. Well, thank you, everybody. Those of you who are in the Portland area, we hope to see you at Bipartisan Cafe next Wednesday. And that's it. Enjoy your holidays.
Right. Thank you,
Good night,
thank you,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Good night.
We need like a closing theme song or something, like yada yada. We're done.
You just
Bruce,
did
are you
it.
hanging on because you want to be you want to like
Yada
be the
yada,
next
we're done,
co-chair?
right?
Good night, Demetra.
Hi, Diane.